Hi, I'm Cody. I live in Canada. That's right. In fact, right next door to me, Santa Claus lives there. It's that time of year, that's for sure. I ride a polar bear that's mushed to work by a whole bunch of penguins. I'm being told penguins are in a different hemisphere. I don't even know what that word means. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown, and like I was saying, this is a story about the Great White North. In fact, it's 3 stories in one. You gotta love that, right? Today, the Bank of Canada came out, and Stephen Pallaz, the governor of the Bank of Canada, left the lending rate at 1% for the second straight meeting. Now, we know that this is gonna go up. It's inevitable. And they've mentioned in previous meetings they were concerned with household debt and the real estate market in Canada. But with this meeting here, they made a lot of points about why we actually assume the rate will probably go up the next time the Bank of Canada gets together. Job growth, wage growth, and strong consumer spending, despite the raised rates for borrowing, make it so that the Bank of Canada basically have no choice but to raise this rate again off that 1% mark. That's our Bank of Canada news. Good news for all of us out there. No rates being raised. If you need to refinance a mortgage, I'd get it done now because early 2018, you can imagine a quarter point is going to go up on that interest number. There's no question about that. Now we've got 2 earnings calls, not 4, even though 2 earnings calls. Dollarama and Lululemon, 2 Canadian companies, both reported earnings today. Both reported really good earnings, in fact. Dollarama, EPS of $1.15 versus last year at this time, only 92 cents. Their revenue number of $810 million versus last year at this time where it was $738 million. They earned profits of $130 million this quarter compared to $110 last year at this time. So Dollarama is making significant growth all across the board. And why are they making that kind of growth, you're wondering? Let's take a look at it. Apparently, comparable store sales are up. They're up significantly, 4.6%. Average transaction size is up 4.5%. Number of transactions, though, while up, is only up 0.1%. So they're really not driving a whole lot of new traffic to their stores, but the people who do shop at Dollarama are going in and spending a little bit more with every transaction that they make. Kudos, Dollarama. We knew Canadian economy was coming back, but earnings calls like this let us know that at every level, people are spending money. Dollarama's running a really tight ship. Pat yourself on the back. We like to see earnings calls like this for sure. The number of stores at the end of the quarter were 1,135, comparable to last year where it was 1,069. So they're definitely growing on every comparable number that we can see. That's what we want to see when we look at earnings calls. Dollarama is doing an excellent job. Last year, roughly $100 a share at this time. That's nowhere near where they closed today. They closed today at $149.73. That was down 2.12% on the day, even though this earnings call was so good. But year over year, I mean, they're up 50%, right? This is what we want to see. Dollarama running a stellar company. We're moving on to the 3rd story, earnings from Lululemon. More good news. Canada, we're doing so good. Earnings per share of 56 cents beat the street by 4 cents. They made profit this quarter of $58.9 million. Revenue of $619 million beat the street estimate by $7.5 million. They expect the next quarter earnings between $1.19 a share and $1.22. The analysts only have it at $1.18, so forward guidance is already well ahead of analysts. Lululemon has high expectations for themselves. They make excellent athletic apparel, and I can only imagine how well they are going to do through the Christmas season. I'm in the mall at West Edmonton Mall quite a bit. There's a big Lululemon store there, and as far as traffic goes, it is highly trafficked. There's no doubt about it. I go in every once in a while and I try on some nice tight yoga pants and I do a little stretching and the like, but I'm usually thrown right out of there. They'll have none of that. They are trading lower than this time last year, which is strange. I don't understand that. 67.66. That was up $1.96 or 1.96% rather today, but they're trading lower. It's doing so well. I can only imagine that through the holiday season, we're going to get a pretty considerable bump because Nike and Under Armour have both seen athletic apparel fall this year, and they've actually made mention about how that's a bit of a troublesome point in their business models. Lululemon, which focuses exclusively on athletic apparel, basically, they're not having any issues whatsoever with sales. Comparable store sales whipped estimates because estimates were only 5.2%. Comparable store sales at Lululemon was 8% growth. That's substantial growth. So why they're trading lower right now than they were a year ago is kind of beyond me. I guess people were expecting them to kind of follow in kind with Nike and Under Armour. And when Nike sounds out the alarms and says athletic apparel is down, they definitely are still the bellwether as far as that goes. So I could see why that would set off the alarms for people and they might back off of Lululemon, but this company might be quite a bit undervalued. So the Bank of Canada leaves interest rates at 1%, but we can expect an increase quite quickly. Dollarama reports excellent earnings. Lululemon reports even better earnings, I would say. And going into the holiday season, I could see Lululemon's share price going up quite a bit compared to the 67.66 we've seen it close at today. But if you're doing any investing, please consult with your licensed professional financial advisor. Do not take financial advice from a guy with pink dolphins on his shirt. That just doesn't sound like doing the proper due diligence. But we do thank you for stopping by. I'm Cody from Wall Street Breakdown. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell. We'll be back every day with more financial news. If you follow this channel already, you know you can't get rid of me. Leave us some comments. Let us know what you're thinking. Like this video, like all videos. We like you, so you might as well like some of our videos. But the comments, that's what we want to know. We want to know what you think. Dollarama, Lululemon, Bank of Canada, anything else. Tell us what you had for dinner. We love conversing with our fans. We want to know what you think. What can we do better? What would you like to see more of? Leave it in the comments section and have yourselves an outstanding rest of your Wednesday.